them or adapt within the game. A lot of what we see, the past 2 losses were 0-2s. The 2 wins before that were 2-0s. So it's kind of it's no middle ground, as I said before.
Yeah.
And they gotta find some footing in the beginning, I think, to make it start to work. Here again, Thief and Dre getting their feet wet in mid. As I said, they may do so right off the bat here, Doug. They love the pressure. They love to make their opponents get sweaty in the beginning and find whatever angles they can push them off of. Dapper to open it up on Thief as he gets a little too curious.
A bit too curious indeed. He's going to drop numbers advantage in favor of Sentinels early on. Also, shout out to everyone behind the scenes who's brought us this dope new overlay. You love to see it. Dre gets onto Dapper, trades that kill out as it looks like Tens is trying to keep back the aggression across the middle of the map. You see the spike there. Pistol round goes absolutely chaotic as it drops down to a 3v3.
Slowly walking the spike back. They don't really want to commit to anything just yet here. And we do see Tens on that jet. So being able, we didn't really discuss it, but being able to see him get that position to still be very aggro. Obviously, Shazam's going to look to play the Sova here. So that works out. And
30
they push
seconds
in.
left.
We're going to see that Moose is the first one. He'll be a bit of a sentry with low HP as long as he can get that initiator dart in. It's good to go. The curveball to answer. Shots from Sick and doing what he does best, opening it up for the team to have a bit easier of a chance to get in here. 3v2, Moose is low and Stellar at full health. And here comes the Molly.
Oh, the volley is good. That just buys him so much time, and then Sick goes in. He gets a beautiful 3K to secure the round for Sentinels. So well played.
Cheers.
Well played as a team. I mean, you're coming in with a Sova, you're coming in with a Phoenix. There's no reason to go 1 by 1. You have everything you need to retake that site. And Sentinels are a team that I just like almost just call the retake team all the time. When they play bind and they have a Cypher out, they'll throw traps in a site and just leave it there. Coming back in with their utility, high return on investment to find 1 of 5 opponents hiding somewhere in the site. And they utilize that so well. It's interesting to see if they'll keep doing that now with Tens in. If that's just kind of like, hey, our retakes are where we're at, and Tens will be happy with that. Judge for him, as it's going to be a bit of a sheriff role here on the side of Luminosity for round 2.
Nothing quite like a jet with a shotgun in hand. Sentinels, as you mentioned, get the early round in that pistol, and now it's a bit of a slower look here from Luminosity. And Riv, this is what you mentioned prior to the map starting, right? Like they can be so defaulty, and you know that kind of carries a negative connotation, but you think about how much utility is drawn out from the opposing team due to that play style, it makes a lot of sense.
And you learn a lot too. I think Luminosity, as I said, a cerebral team, likes to figure out what kind of precedent is being set by their opponents. Here, Tens being Tens, that's expected already. But you can see where they're playing, how they're rotating a little bit, or how fast they're rotating as a Proto comes up huge on the Cypher, taking off heads as he makes his way into B here. 50 seconds left in the round. The 4v3 and Luminosity making it very possible here to grab the second round of the half, or the first half.
And look at what Stellar just did. Stellar just paranoia is out, and you see both members that weren't there for Sentinels start to rotate over because they think the hit's on B. At the same time, Dre's already hightailed it the heck out of there. Moose is all the way back behind enemy lines. They have full control of the site. They're going to get that spike down, and if a Proto continues to cause problems, it's going to be devastating for Sentinels. 2 members left, Zombs and the newest addition, Tens.
Rolling through together. They got blind and smokes for this one. Oh, he holds it. Not enough classic with cheese on that, but your boy Dre is able to come up big there. The 3 sheriffs purchased are huge. The return on investment for a Proto, he almost makes the money back he fought with the sheriff. And now Sentinels on the back foot there as their buy made them feel good enough to hold some pretty forward angles. And Luminosity took advantage of that.
And you know, one of the things we didn't highlight a ton, and this is honestly one of the reasons why I love calling Luminosity matches, is a Proto and Thief, dude, with Sheriffs, they're unreal, right? Like, you almost expect in a 1vx, given the Sheriff in hand, that they're going to pull it off.
Yeah. It's interesting because you remember when Ascent came out, it was the Sentinels. That's basically the team that ran this map, and we have to see a very different look here, a paradigm shift in how they play. Pushing out, they will be aggressive, coming out with some Spectres and Classics. The Vandal firing from the top of mid here for Thief. He picks up a few. A heal coming in now as that overheal procs off, and they're going to be looking towards tiles to possibly finish this one off. Tens patiently waiting, and you'll see the family photo waiting for him on Cat. They take a picture. Thief with the 4K, and it's just kind of the money's rolling in right now for Luminosity. We expected that round to be a quick one for Sentinels as they look to just do a little eco damage on the side of Luminosity.
Right, and that's why you saw them bunch up, push their way in through
Just
tree to try to
it.
fight for the middle of the map. Yeah, you just kind of have to full send at that point and hope for the best. But that's another player, and I think as we continue to talk about Luminosity, we're going to continue to point to these three players because it really seems like if these three players are clicking, Luminosity's filthy, and that's a Proto, who we saw in the pistol, Thief, who we just saw, and then Dre, who's just a couple of points away from the showstopper. Moose also has the Hunter's Fury at hand, so they have plenty of options in front of them. But so, as far as ultimates go, so do Sentinels. Sick going to use the run it back. Going to get some info, but really not a ton else.
Nice call on that little outhouse hit. A lot of damage going over to Dapper. Or sorry, a Proto. And now they're just going to play this one patiently. They do have the ultimates. I was surprised to not see Moose kind of fire that one off as they were coming up. 10's now Blade Storm for himself as he plays this one strong with another one for Sentinels. And they can play this one patient. I mean, they have a few ultimates on each side. You're looking at Moose's and you're looking at 10's. Depending on whether those go off, the spike can get down here. They have a lot of room to work with. But a Proto is going to be the first one in on the left side. They don't have drone as that was used on the other side on A. Looks like they still have quite a bit of utility to be used here, Doug. They're going to try to get in. Here it goes. Roomba's out.
Roomba's out. The dart's going to follow, and the paint shells as well. You see the paranoia not going to connect onto anyone as Sick has been left absolutely unscathed and unchecked around this corner. Now they start to funnel in. Sick again on that lane. Looking to see if he can spot anyone. It's actually Dapper who gets the first one. Shazam from back in Bo's house looking for a little bit of action as Sick gets another one. 10's continuing to light things up. A beautiful round, a flawless one at that, from the boys over at Sentinels.
Get caught up in the crossfire. That was so good. Each side. And Doug, we have to point out, they just hauled it over to B, avoiding 10's after he opens up with a few on the round. He still has that dominance, and he still puts out the aggression from wherever he is. We'll see if he keeps being avoided. He's been in the same spot. He's not hopping. He's not switching his spot. So he's been on Cat. Can be expected to be there. And we'll see how this round plays out as we get into round 5. They are going to be going towards A. 10's pushing up here a little bit with Zombs to start off the round as they get a little bit better position.
Have a couple of ultimates there, and that opening pick onto 10's there is just beautiful, and Dre piles it on as well. 2 members of Sentinels already off the board. Sick kind of has to go aggressively here to try to push things back. He gets one in trade and then backs up. But with that, Luminosity have control of A.
Gonna go right for 10's this time, playing off possibly that set precedence of aggression. Yeah, we're gonna get a peek here. Let's peek from top and bottom, even if they get the smoke out. I like the forward utility, giving Sick and the rest of the team a little bit of trouble as they try to get in for this. Shazam gonna try to do what he can here. Maybe he saves at this point. He knows he's gonna start having a flank on him, so he may have to commit to what's in front of him for the time being. It's gonna be a quick 1-for-1 there. And Luminosity putting up some great defense here to start it off as we come up to our 6th round of the first half.
And, Riv, it looks like it might only get worse. They have 4 of 5 ultimates online. A Proto's just 1 away from the Neural Theft as well, so they're getting all of their resources available. Yeah. And on the other side, for Sentinels, if I'm not mistaken, they're capital B broke here. Oh, I was wrong. If this goes sideways, there's a very good chance that they will be.
Yeah. All right, see that? 1,900 credits for the side of Sentinels. That means they are on full bonus for loss. Forward dart here. Not too much mid work so far for Luminosity. They've been able to get a lot of what they want just from working A, just from working B. A few frags, rotations out of Sentinels, and then pushing the round forward. We spoke about, you just said how many ultimates are up. If they can cycle these ults, a few per round, they can consecutively get through what will be the buy rounds here for Sentinels and put them back on eco. There's a showstopper coming in. Boy, Dre looking to get a little bit deeper, fires it to the back of Boathouse, won't get the kill. Sentinels doing a beautiful job of holding off LG as they try to get into the B site.
I mean, things went absolutely sideways. That showstopper should have gotten more effect out of it, and then the control that should have come from that should have open things up for LG
Squeaks it out.
considerably. But again, just narrowly going sideways. But still, they're still in a very winnable situation here. It's not easy by any means, but it's certainly doable.
Yeah, I mean, he's facing less than 100 HP. So we'll see what he can do. He's got 33 himself, so it's going to be tough. I think he actually stopped the footstep just before he needed to, but maybe the timing's there. Doesn't pull the trigger. Zombs gets a little bit of that Omen diff to set in. And Sentinels tied up, Doug. It looks like we're going to go punch for punch here on these rounds.
Oh, and that's exactly what we wanted, right? Like, that's what you look at a tale of the tape, a battle of the gods, if you will, and this is what you expected. And I think it's been a lot of the customers that we expected to be the ones popping off, right? You see tens, you see Sick with kills across the board, first Sentinels, and then you've got Thief leading things considerably for Luminosity. So the right players are clicking for this to be a really good series, right?
All right, this is exactly what we wanted to see here. And another partial gun round coming out for the side of... Oh, no, Sick does have one as he just switches around to his weapons. Phantoms are going to be out. Sentinel's feeling good on this. And this, for Luminosity, will be maybe half armor next round if they can't get through all the way with this. We already see Thief trying to do that as he gets both of his orbs in to be able to dismiss out. And they're just going to work this one slow again. I think LG really benefits from doing this all the time, especially when they feel like there might be more pressure than necessary. When they have hold of a team, LG will go forward. Thief, your boy Drake, going to be in your face all the time. But here, it's methodical, like you said before. They're working the spike super slow. It's going to be given to whoever needs that alt point. Maybe grab a few orbs if possible. And Sentinels are going to be putting up some great defense here. And if Luminosity can grab quite a few rounds here on attack, they know that's going to benefit them a lot.
At this point here, if you're Luminosity, trying to find a way in, it is just Dapper here on the site. You see Tens kind of playing around the middle, but the majority of Sentinel's investment is over by A, so they should have some room to work with. That's going to be the cue. The Hunter's Fury for Moose is going to be used, trying to tag up Dapper, knock him down, and that's exactly what he does. Tens, who was close by, also very quickly getting involved. The counter, oh no. Thief got behind enemy lines. He was able to take care of Tens, but then Sick does the same to him. Zombs with 3. There's just one member left on the side of Luminosity, and it's Moose. He's got to go fast. I don't know that he's got enough time, and then he's sandwiched in as well. The kill's going to come through. The time doesn't matter. A 4K for Zombs. Sentinels take the lead.
Zombs, whether it's the back of C on Haven or it's just there in the boathouse, he's so good at grabbing multiple kills when he has no right to be alive. He just created a 1v1 situation every time. Nobody could get the attack on him. Zombs does it again. A 4K for him. Going to be able to get everything he needs to shore up. And we do see a bit of that buy-in, a little bit of light armor, as I was saying before, for Luminosity. They feel like they're okay. They're going hard with Sheriffs here and light. Let's see what they got. Thief's the only one without it, and he's hoping to get some overheal right away. Doug, they're pushing up a little bit more from the side of Sentinels. How close do they get?
Too
Real
close. Way too close. The Sentinels just stuffs them. Another flawless round. The Sheriff was not a difference maker in the hand of Luminosity this time. Beautiful by Sentinels.
I didn't think it was going to be that quick, but I feel like that's really good to see. Sentinels fans should be happy to see that they're not on the back foot at all. They're ready to play aggressive, especially on a round when you should be farming your opponents.
Yep.
And they were probably very happy to hear some Sheriffs going off on the other side and that round to go out so quickly. That still leaves them with a bit of money here on the side of the Luminosity Gaming squad. You can see that they are buying up into Sheriffs, but they're down to a few zeros and 400s, under 1,000 there. So these are really going to start to hurt the economy if Sentinels can string these rounds together.
Seeing a bit of a different, bit more aggressive look, at least taking some space away. Sentinels is from Luminosity down B lobby. You saw the drone. You saw Dapper swing out with it as well. Make sure there are no shenanigans on the other side to kind of give them some room to work with. And again, given Luminosity's defaulty type, let's feel things out. Let's see what the opposing team is giving us and then making a call. You get a good bit of info there. Sick, however, with the run it back, trying to control the middle, drops yet again.
It's a good choice. When things are this quiet, and you know you're feeling pretty good about hitting the sites, you still have a good amount of util to shut them down, you might want to just throw that run it back out there. See if you can get a frag, but also say, okay, no cat, no top mid really. They're probably hitting a site pretty soon. And looks like the focus is going to be towards A. I like how they're keeping Dapper out to the side. Always smart to keep that flank. Whoa.
Oh,
Super close there as the bot gets dismantled right before going off. Moose takes down Tens to start us off here after your boy Dre goes down to 8.
Great paranoia from Zombs to buy some more time. If you're Luminosity, you kind of have to go here. You don't really have enough time to flip the map, and Sentinels gladly welcomes them with open arms. It's a bloodbath as Sentinels walk away with 4, Luminosity picked to shreds.
All right. Almost a change of pace is necessary now. If Sentinels is figuring it out too much, they have too much time to set up or just leave Dapper somewhere with the use of Cypher on defense. Right? Killjoy, you got to stay within range, yada yada, move everything around. With Dapper being able to just say, yeah, no one's here. I've checked B main. We've gone all the way out to garage, even checked outside B. That focus on A to cover becomes so easy. So I think Luminosity needs to do a little bit more to work within that rotation time. We have a tech pause coming in, and figure out how to scramble Sentinels a little bit. They feel so comfortable on their early angles. At least get them off that. Don't wait so long.
Well, and we saw some of that, right? A couple rounds ago, down a long Tens who had been peeking aggressively.
Right, they pushed up, hopped the wall,
Yeah.
double peak.
Exactly. We need more of that, and then even if it isn't, even if it's not that, and they kind of want to spice things up a little bit more, give them a little bit more heat, a little more flavor. Like, give me a full send, right? Like, hit a hard, fast exec, just push Sentinels off a bit. Yeah, absolutely.
I like it. B is going to be a tough one. May try, though. 3 off of a few of these. You do have a Protoss neural uplink. Tens switching up position just a little bit here as Blade Storm, if anything gets too hairy this round. You know he'll stay for a fight. He's good for it. Looking for a quick spam through the smoke to pick one up. Is Thief with that Sheriff has some lasers coming out today.
And he has control of A, right? Like, Sick has to pull off, and they have to respect that it very well may be more than Thief. No, the shots go wide, and Sick punishes it. That, like, the jig's up. Sentinels, or excuse me, Luminosity have to reset the map here.
Happens to the best of us. It's so hard to shoot somebody whose movement is, unknown. And we see it there for Thief. He actually gets pickpocketed from a kill. 45 seconds on this. It's going to be B again. This round a little bit quicker, right? They had a bit of versatility to it. They've scrambled Sentinels a little bit more. And now it is up to Shazam. Hearing a few footsteps, he's going to make that call. Whether he chooses to go or not, or get help from the team, is a big question. He gets the first one. Oh, he's feeling it. He may just want it. The shots just go. Oh my God, haircuts everywhere. He's staying alive down to almost half. That's going to be the shots coming in now. Proto gets 1. Proto gets 2 and almost cleans it up. But Dapper, always looking clean, coming in with a flank on his Cypher is to be able to clean that up. It did get kind of close, though. I think everybody was sweating there.
A Proto freaking giving me a heart attack, man. Like, he plays on that knife's edge all the time, and that's what I was saying earlier.
That was wild.
You put him in a 1vx with the Sheriff, and it's almost like, I mean, he could, right? Like, maybe. He very well may. But Sentinels, through the very dangerous moment, walk away with plenty of money, a 4-round lead. They're going to have an op in the hands of Tens, which we haven't seen a ton of here. It looks like he might get an early chance. So Proto pushes forward. Has to post step back.
Whenever somebody who opts like Tens or Shazam or something, I always feel like we're on a safari and you're like, there he is, now in his environment, looking to find his prey. You're just waiting for these kills to come in. We'll see what he can get out here. If the safari car goes by Tens' location at all. 1 minute here. Everybody from the same look. This gets so scary. You do have some traps up on your flanks here, but not knowing who's coming up mid or right behind you. You got to keep looking over your shoulder. Check your 6 every so often. Will they get... I love the way the Sentinels is playing here. Will they peek? Will they not? Luminosity always trying to find a bit with each location they get, but it's not until the site do they find that defense.
Yeah, and at this point, I mean, the teammates have arrived. It's going to be a straight-up 3v3 here. Blade Storm's involved, but you got to keep an eye on Moose. If Moose can stay alive, that Hunter's Fury really could secure them the round. Thief slowly making his way forward, gets the best of 10s, another filthy shot as he takes Stick out as well. Shazam getting the best of him into a 1v2. Shazam historically very good in situations like this. Good for one, but a Proto extinguishes the threat. Very well played. Luminosity get to 4.
Doug, you know, with those rounds, it's only a matter of time, right?
Yep.
We saw a Proto do that last round, and he was just one short. Thief able to do it this round. You're consistently seeing the power that LG brings to the table just with a single player alone. Combine a few of those, and they're going to start stringing those rounds together. Sentinel's been doing a great job at getting those impact frags out early, though, to make sure Thief and a Proto aren't able to do that every single round.
It's just, I mean, knife's edge every single time.
Yeah.
Dre, 1 point away from the showstopper. See if they try to feed him that ult orb on a long. Thing is, you've got Zombs there. Great use of utility to clear out any sort of defensive shenanigans. But once again, we're seeing this run it back. Taking so much space. Sick. Get the kill, too. Gosh, that's beautiful.
He thought he could play him off hitting the wide angle, too. Looks like they're going to be hitting A, Doug.
They are. There's from the shadows getting info, and he's going to get behind them too. You've got to be careful, but I guess it doesn't really matter if Sentinels can hold it down themselves on the site. Forget the reinforcements, but Dre, with the showstopper that we talked about earlier, getting one, things fall apart for Luminosity as Sentinels walk away with 3 remaining.
Switching sides.
Oh. I felt my dinner come up. I just saw your boy Dre disintegrate 10s. That was brutal. Oh my word, that's just showing. You always gotta love a showstopper that hits right on target. Good defense as they got into the site throughout the rounds as we see this replay. That's when you were speaking on, we were talking LG getting aggressive. They were finding a few more rounds because they were playing off a bit of predictability. We saw 10s on Cat a lot. Well, let's push up fast, maybe he'll be here. And then these rounds, the one before that from a Proto, and that one right there from Thief is the reason we're at an 8-4, which gives them a bit of padding if Pistol does not go their way, but Luminosity need to pick it up here.
They do indeed on the defensive side here. No early aggression, no fully sending either which way, which would honestly be a bit uncharacteristic of Luminosity at this point. But Sentinels, they've already sent a couple of Cat. Dapper is taking the middle of the map. Looks like they're going to want to go towards A here, Rith. Oh boy.
Close play by Dre for hearing so many footsteps. Kind of puts himself right there in the frying pan. Moose, though, makes up for it with a twofer. And 10s is going to answer back. A nice overheal from Thief. He's going to be loving that as he waits for the rest of the team. You have the Cypher Cam to come in if that's on cooldown. And maybe a Paranoia to be used here. No, actually, just another smoke to come out. That Dark Shroud on top. Paranoia did get thrown out as soon as I looked down to see his util. And now they're in here for the defuse. Just wide right, looking to the left. Doesn't have enough. And it's going to be Stellar that comes through. A little classic with cheese onto Shazam there. And what a round from Luminosity. They take it slow for a moment and able to get just quick the instant defense once they got back in.
Yeah, and you even mentioned early on Dre playing that tight, but it was once again Luminosity and their pistols, man.
Yep.
You can't count them out. Moose opens up with 2 big ones. Steve gets a couple as well.
Boom.
And then at that point, great wherewithal by Luminosity to understand that the best way to avoid some shenanigans from like stopping a defuse through a smoke or anything like that is you kind of have to run at them.
Yep.
Exactly what Stellar does, gets the kill and wins them the round.
I like it. Keep Sentinels on the back foot. Let them know you're serious. That was destroyed. So they know there's at least one, but with how far back they have pushed, they don't want to peek that without any more util. Here's the Owl drone out, and that's going to spot a few here in tiles. Hello.
I think Drain a great spot too here as he's taking up some authority through tree, but the middle of the map is not open for the taking for Sentinels. Luminosity push through. They drop a couple. The spike is down there as well. A brutal spot for Sentinels.
Oh, what a pinch here. They're just, they don't know which way to look right now. Luminosity knows they have the upper hand. With only a few shots in each one of those revolvers, they can instantly move the cavalry forward to take that round 8-6 as we're moving into round 15 here. Those were the ones you expect if you grab pistol, and Sentinels did kind of hold back on what they were getting, just some sheriffs. So Phantoms in hand. Util looks good across the board, right? Only no wall for Phoenix, just that Molly. And Dapper, I believe, has already set his down. Yeah, I was going to say he doesn't have anything, but no, he's good to go.
Yeah, and I think for Luminosity here, you want to try to pad this bonus as much as you can, right? If you can steal
absolutely.
this round away, and you all of a sudden you get to 8-7, Sentinels is in a brutal financial spot, and all of a sudden you're talking about 8-8, the map changes, right? For the 8-4 half that Sentinels had early on, where Luminosity oftentimes looked lost, this could easily go the other way, but I love this positioning from Thief. Utility to push Sentinels back, let Thief get into a cheeky spot and potentially blow things up. Good for one, great trade from Tens.
They get the Bulldog out. Not going to need that. And no ultimates really on deck either, so everything's about utility and who can make the shots. Smoke and dash in as they try to create space in A. Tens makes that happen as Dre goes down. Zoms just on the other side playing cat and mouse there with Stellar. Nobody's going to peek the smoke right away. Spike's going to go down in A. Another retake here coming in from LG. Now this one tested with full-on rifles for both teams. And most of it's coming from Tree here. Let's see how they take it.
And Riv, I want to draw attention to this because this is where Luminosity really had their glow up. Right at the beginning of the year, it was in their ability to retake specifically against Sentinels. But now that Tens is in the fold, I don't know that you're going to be nearly as effective as you were before. The ace is stolen, but it doesn't matter. Sentinels hold fast.
He's like, no, can't let the new guy get an ace just yet. That's not how it works. Tens on it. Maybe, you know, honestly, that is just good return because that's another, I'll point out, Tens has Blade Storm, so why give him another one? So just playing it smart over funny. And yeah, you're right. That the retake for LG is powerful, but that was a different composition that they were facing when they were able to get those consecutive rounds. And Sentinels do stop the bleeding here on their first gun round. Let's see how bad they put Stellar and the rest of the Luminosity squad back as they are on another rifle round. It's going to be some util going out on both sides to see how they pull some of this out. And Sentinels is down for dropping the spike as well, we've seen on the beginning of these rounds.
Interesting. Once again, Luminosity playing primarily off-site, being willing to at least, without them knowing, give up a lot of the middle of the map. But now things have been given away. Tens is tagged up. He understands that a camera's there. They have a really good idea of where the hit's going to be, given where the middle of the map was. The paranoia is going to come out onto the site as it looks like they're all drawing their attention over towards B. You've got the Reyna playing the middle of the map just to be safe, but Stellar's left unchecked. He shoots a couple right in the back of the head. Tens dashing around, not going to matter. Moose gets him. Dre gets onto it as well as he's looking to take the last member of Sentinels off the site. It's Shazam in a 1v3. Well, that a 1v2, no longer going to be around. Thief takes care of him. Luminosity get to 7.
You know, I don't think there was any doubt that once Sentinels got on attack, it's going to be a little bit easier. And I think Valorant lends itself to that with having the agents, right? You have somebody come in, you know what that agent's going to do. You know what Tens is going to do on Jet. And as long as the team is there, right, you play around that in the instance. It's not like he's just hiding or flying into A by himself. So I feel like Sentinels might get a groove here that makes it real tough for Luminosity to come back. We'll see here coming into this next one. That was a quick round coming in. Curveball and everyone pushing forward could signal another quick one. As we have a few Phantoms here for the side of Sentinels on on the attack side. And they're going to go in with the Blade Storm as well.
Yep, the paranoia from Stellar was there as well, and a couple of shots from the Bulldogs secure the kill onto Tens. Blade Storm no longer in effect, but Sentinels have control of the site. Zom should be able to get the spike down. Members of Luminosity have now started to arrive. This is, again, the spot where they shine in retakes, in a disadvantageous situation as far as personnel goes. What can they do?
Kind of util will help them get in. They just have there's so many more angles to check when you don't have the numbers here, but they're gonna try, even with that Empress on. Zoms finds 2 again. Try it and true coming out of him. If anybody's trying to get to his location, and Sick locks the last one down as Dre falls. And the run away with rounds begins here for Sentinels. Feeling good on attack. This is one of the reasons they called them as Sentinels in the beginning. It just seems like they can find a way around their opponents. And it's almost like nobody goes down before they're even in the site. And you're like, oh, wait, that's happening already? They just seem to they have that on every opponent they play.
Also worth noting, of all the members of Sentinels, Tens is ironically the only one rocking the clan tag on the front of his name. Look at that early aggression. Oh, look at the aggression. They shut up the middle of the map. They go all the way down B long as well, and Sentinels are just sitting there like ducks. No room to breathe, nowhere to go, and they've already dropped 2.
Right to mid. Are they gonna? No, he's not gonna take it. A little undecided now that they lost so many. You see Sick walking around mid with a bunch of his teammates' bodies there. So he's just trying to skirt around him. 1 HP for Thief. That would have been a unicorn play, honestly, if he takes down 10s with that quick headshot. Sick's able to grab himself a Phantom as well. They regroup. They have a very, very good chance on taking this round, the 3v3 here. And I think you leave a Proto by himself here. 1 mid, 1 B, play for the regroup. And that's all it is. 1-1-1 if you ever have the possibility to do it. As long as the other team's not pushing through, you're good to go. A lot of util here to be used by Sentinels, and B is the word.
Interesting that they chose, knowing that they only had pistols, to invest that. Oh, okay, Moose good for 1. Sick trades him out. Now dropping down to a 2v2. Folks, remember this is a pistol for Luminosity. They invest a showstopper early on. They show some heavy aggression, and they get to a point where this is certainly winnable. The one difficult thing to swallow here is no Hunter's Fury online for Luminosity.
Once they check that left side for main, I think they're good to go. They watch each other's back for a moment. Smoke's nice and deep in there, so they don't have too much area to work once they come out of it. They know somewhere on the right. Smoke's another one. Have to get at least a tap down to pull them out of their position, but they're still trying to play the fight a little too long. And you got the molly to work with anyways. It's really not going to matter. They knew they had to get the kills, so that was the option to go for. 11-7 here. Sentinels again find their way into the site. Strangle out Luminosity. But we'll have to see what happens here on the next gun round. A few ultimates up here as well. Stellar's ult, as well as that Hunter's Fury, as you were saying, now back online. And maybe they can do some preventative work. Maybe they wait for that plant to go down. We'll see how they use it.
Oh, I mean, we saw just in this last round, granted it was their pistol, but we saw that they're willing, right, to cook up a little spice, to make something flashy happen. Now that they have a couple of these ultimates online, how are they going to choose to play this out? You see Moose kind of waiting back, knowing he has a Hunter's Fury, knowing he can reach far areas of the map if he plays around the middle, really just kind of keeping that as an option, keeping that in his back pocket. I imagine you get some info, and Moose has shown that he has no problem using a Hunter's Fury either entirely dry or just off of the slightest bit of info.
Yeah, you can do it here, right? There's no Killjoy. You don't have to worry about a lockdown. Maybe you have to worry about another Hunter's Fury, but you know that's not up. And we see Sentinels working here once again towards A slowly, and it's got to be said, 10s, 19, and 15 top fragging. There's another 19 behind him as well on the scoreboard with almost 20 bomb here in his first game with Sentinels. It doesn't matter, I think, who he is, where he is, or I should say what agent he's on, or where he is, not who he is. He's always 10s. In that sense, that's amazing to see. That says a lot about who he is, how he plays, and what situations he can play in. All
right, here we go. Sick using the run it back. And it looks like, it's a fake. Riv, it's a bloody fake. They use the run it back. They use it from the shadows as well to think that the hit's going on A, and they're biting onto the bait. You see him start to pull off B is entirely open. Sentinels have gotten on there for free, and they've been able to take aggressive positioning to stop the rotations, to stop the cutoffs. The one problem is that Six on the other side of the map, he's going to have to get on his high horse, scurry over to make it to get a chance to have an impact on the play. The spike is down. Shazam waiting just on the other side. He's got great information if he can just be patient. No, but Moose gives him the business.
Oh my
Dapper
God.
drops as well, and now it's Sick, who was late to the show in a 1v3. It's a winnable one. He's good for one, but Dre stops it. He's going to get the defuse as well. Sentinel showed something spicy, and Luminosity hold it off just fine.
I love explosions.
That... I actually thought that Moose used his ult a little too early, but he knows exactly what he's doing. Caused beautiful, beautiful displacement in the site. The rest of the LG roster was able to run in here, and really that wasn't even a util retake. They were finding everything off of aim, off of trades, and confidence of making their way into the spike site. This is the time you have to make a run for that tie, for whatever. I mean, for the game you have a chance for now.
Yep.
And we'll see if LG plays it a bit different. Hearing some running over here at A, LG, your boy Dre is going to make sure that he's right with a Roomba out there. So they have a little bit of intel to start, but it's still going to be that default split for Sentinels.
No early aggression towards B. Very unlikely that we see this neural theft anytime soon in the hands of a Proto, as Sentinels have really invested all of their attention towards A. They have cat control as well. The one thing is, you see, there's certainly the possibility. Okay, they're fully committing here. The spike is in hand, going up A long, but you have two members of Luminosity. They're hanging in tree, but if their attention's elsewhere, they're going to get caught. Looking around, Zomb's good for one already.
He's watching that tree area, has a nice flank. The team's made it fully into the site. Flame walls up, and they can just hang out now and allow this to tick down. So it's now for LG to regroup. Here comes Dart going in. Nice. One underneath. They're able to find 10s. That's kind of a mistake there that he misses it coming in. What will happen is LG comes through. Where are they stronger? Sick and Shazam able to trade 2, and it's not going to be enough so far from LG. A Proto and Stellar doing their best as they are the last 2.
They weren't the last 2. Well, I guess they were ultimately the last 2. They just weren't around for very long as Sentinels gets to match point.
Yeah.
Luminosity again in a position where they could have retaken the site. They had the pieces there, but excellent use of utility from Sentinels, and their shots were crispy clean, as you have grown to expect from this squad. I mean, Riv, a really good performance across the board here for Sentinels.
It is. Look at that. All the way, you got a triple-double there on Shazam. Looking pretty nice. You always love to see that. And the rest of the team, like I said, I was kind of going to go one way or the other. It's like the holiday phase where everybody feels good. You know, you got 10s on the team. He's going to be able to hold his own. You don't have to worry or put a leash on this guy to say, hey, wait. Okay, no, that call was wrong. He's playing as a Jet should. And I kind of referenced that earlier. You know what a Jet needs to do, and 10s is maybe one of the best out there. So, yeah. Let him roll on that spot. And you're right. Everybody's playing well across the board with that confidence coming into the team, even with the swap before Masters here. Spike's planted. Dapper toying here. Cypher diff. Toying.
Oh, no, bro.
He did
Come
it to
on.
him. He did it to him. That's all right. Now
Two
they're in
members
A. Let's see
left.
what happens.
Yeah, 2 members left for Luminosity to try to keep the map alive, and so far, Dre and Moose get a couple. Dre gets another one. A 1v2, Moose left alone. He's got a Sheriff. Surely he doesn't stick. The defuse gets it to half. He's got a chance here, playing a little ring around the Rosie, and it's not going to happen. Dapper wins the gunfight for Sentinels. Sentinels take Ascent 13-8. A statement made with the new roster, with the addition